Hey guys, let's talk about IO. First, what did I think of this movie? This is definitely one of the Netflix movies that they pumped out because it has like an original hook, but then on its execution, it's just not done that well. It's about this woman named Sam. She seems to be early 20s, and she's the last person left on Earth. Everyone else has moved to a different colony because the Earth has been polluted by climate change and just people not treating the Earth well. She is the daughter of a very famous scientist who was telling people, hey, we should stay on Earth. This is just a temporary thing and we can make it habitable again. She lives by herself in the mountains away from all the pollutants, and it's just this one last pocket of livable atmosphere. And she has farms and bees, and she's just carrying on her father's research. We don't know where her father is. She's all by herself for a lot of the movie, and then a weather balloon appears and drops off Anthony Mackie playing Micah. His name was Micah. He's looking for his father because he heard a radio broadcast that she's been broadcasting. We haven't seen her father. And then it turns into this, oh, what are their paths that led them there? And a big will they, won't they, as they kind of figure out each other, figure out how to survive. And then they also later decide that we're going to go on the last ship out of here. And then that becomes like a big plot point. Now, let's talk about the ending. Some people said it's kind of ambiguous or it's kind of weird. And I think that's the problem, the story not being super clear. But what I took away is that she had found out that she could actually breathe on Earth again. And that it was the lighter that, even though it was purple, meaning that the air was technically kind of poisonous, she could somehow breathe it. And that's why the pig was giving them hope. And then when she takes off her mask, she proves to him that she's alive. Now, maybe because of the last scene of her by the beach and then the little kid running up, some people think it's too pretty. Maybe she's in the afterlife, but I don't think so. She has to be living, because how would that little half black baby appear? Maybe that's in his imagination, but that doesn't seem super likely. My preferred, and also what I think is the intention, is that she's there waiting for him, because there's no reason for her to just commit suicide. You know, like, she's been surviving on her own so long and she purposefully seduced him. So it seems like her intention was to have a baby and to have a future there because she believed in her father's work, and that's what she was doing the whole time. So the ending, I think, again, is that she's there on Earth waiting for him and it's become habitable again. And yeah, that's kind of that's a pretty ending. I can imagine a producer reading that, you know, on the screenplay, and her deciding to stay and taking off her mask is a pretty dramatic and interesting plot point. And the last image is pretty beautiful of her standing by the beach. You know, she's always wanted to look at the water. That's all nice, but that whole middle part, the bulk of the movie, I was very, very bored. I feel like there's so many shots that last way too long, and I understand the intention of why they did that. They really want you to sink into the moment of these two people connecting in this very difficult situation. But when you're holding on a shot and your facial expression doesn't really change, and they do that over and over again, it just gets really tiring. I found myself wanting to skip through a lot of it because it didn't really matter. And then the dialogue itself was also very boring and stilted. It was just very generic things like, what are you doing here? And then like, I'm here for this reason, and then they would say some exposition, and then the other character would say some exposition. And it's just a lot of just looking, and I guess it's kind of realistic because in reality, people don't necessarily act that big, but the first 15 minutes of the movie, I already was afraid that I wasn't gonna like it because the main actress, playing Sam, she was just playing it so straight. She didn't really make any strong choices about how her character is feeling in the situation. She wasn't particularly scared. She was never particularly engaged either. She just had a very neutral expression and a neutral delivery. And yeah, I think that's kind of realistic, but it just wasn't entertaining. I don't know what she was passionate about until later when she meets Hawkeye, or Micah, but I mean it's Hawkeye. He actually he brings some gravitas. He kind of speaks slowly and he's always looking very stern, and at least that's a choice. He made like an actor choice that that's how I'm gonna play this character. She feels something at a certain point for him and she'll cry, and that was nice. But yeah, most of this movie is just not very engaging. There is the ticking time bomb of they have to get to the ship in a certain amount of time, and then finally we have some action toward the end. But the middle part is all of this character building that I feel like is a lost opportunity. It could have really dove deeper into the psychology of the characters, into how they feel about each other. There's a good intention of interweaving a lot of this Greek mythology and philosophy and paintings, and they're just like philosophizing while talking about their current relationship and just talking about gods and stuff. And it could have been better than it was. But what did you think? Let me know your thoughts. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. I definitely want to see more of these low budget character based sci-fi. I think it's great. I just think we could do a lot better.